Live.
There we are. All right. Well, welcome to Craft Beers Gone Wild number 6. I'm Crunch Crutchmeyer here in Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, Rod J in Cincinnati.
All right. And we got 2 great craft beers here that Rod has picked out for us this week. And let's see. So the first one we have here is the Newcastle Brown Ale. So that one there is your first one that you picked out. And then you came across with the little guy in between us here, the Bell's Oberon.
Yes. Pretty popular beer around this time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially this time of the year, you know, they come out good. And I'm glad to see that here in Chicago we're able to get Bell's. You know, as you know, we had a little conflict with the beer distributor in the here in Chicago. It's actually Jesse Jackson Jr. They own part of a distributor, and they had a little trouble with the winery. I guess it was a little money issue process of how much they were going to pay for it and all of that. You know, they wanted to make sure they got the most, bang out of their dollars and stuff. So basically, Bell shut down. We could not get it here in Chicago for a while. And so what Bell's did, on hindsight, to basically give the old Michigan finger to Chicago, was the fact that they said that anybody who came there, showed them a Illinois ID, they got 15% off the top.
Oh, wow. I was not familiar with that situation. Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, you know, it was a great public relations. Whoever, came up and decided to do that, kudos to them for, basically coming up with a great way to, keep, people happy and stuff. Of course, we had to do the old Illinois bootlegging. Not that I did. I'm on film here. Anything I say can and will be used against me.
Right.
But yeah. So anybody who went and did that, and they had to bring that over, it's the only way you could really get it for a while. But that all cleared out, I guess, probably because Jesse Jackson Jr. went to jail. Maybe
that might open up the opportunity. Yeah. Can't say I'm surprised with money and politics in the situation. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so they went ahead and we get the Bells in here now into the Chicago area. Glad to see that. Glad you went ahead and suggested that. It's a great great one that I like to try out every now and then. Haven't had it in probably 2 years, so I'm ready to quench my thirst on that one.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the beer world goes a little bit crazy on that one. People just love that beer. So I saw where it's about to be re-released again. Had never done a review on it, and said this would be a nice one to take a look at and check out for the people. But
all right.
And the other one,
that would be good. Yeah.
The Newcastle is kind of a little bit different. I'm not sure if it's still fully a craft beer or not. But the importance of the Newcastle Brown Ale is really that it opened up brown ales in America to be seen as a craft beer opportunity. So when you look at something being
more of it's an English brown ale, right?
Right, they're out of the UK, and they actually were imported into America. But back in the early 1900s or 19 teens or whatever it may be, I can't remember the year offhand, they were one of the first ones to start getting their brown ales in. And then in the resurgence of brown ales really came from people trying to bring back what they had done previously for some of the Newcastle beers. Now, the American brown ales have a little bit more of a twist on them than what the Newcastle one is. But really, when you look at a beer that is kind of the founder of something, it's hard to not talk about brown ales and not talk about Newcastle brown ale in that same type of conversation. So that was one of the reasons I chose them for this, just to establish, because of them, these beers are now going into this whole new class over the last, 10, 15 years back to bringing out that brown ale resurgence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but should be two okay beers, I believe.
All right. Well, before we jump into these here stuff, I got to go ahead and say to you, what happened with the Cincinnati and the Cubs? Let's talk about that, shall we?
Did they play? I don't watch baseball as much. I'm a football guy.
Oh my God!
I'm 2 weeks away from the draft. That's my focus right now. But no, I didn't know the Reds played the Cubs. The Cubs pulled it out, huh?
Oh yeah. They actually they were up. Let's see, what did it come out to be? I think it was Cincinnati was up 3, and the Cubs ended up coming 5-3 on only 3 hits.
Wow!
Cincinnati had 10 walks.
That's not surprising. Over the years, you see the Reds give away a lot of games.
Well, it's kind of funny. You laugh about that, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of a new strategy, really, that apparently they're doing. From what I read in the paper here, and talking with some of my friends and those that jumped onto my website there and saw the Sosa Steam Room.com. Those they went ahead and practiced all year for walks. So they're really they're really picking and choosing which one they're going to swing at, because they kind of figured out that most strikeouts are happening by pitchers that are really bad pitchers. They're not strike pitchers and they just swung and miss. They're actually swinging at just bad, shitty pitchers. And so, they go ahead and, get struck out where they could actually have walked. So they're really starting to pick and choose which pitchers that they're going to go for.
Well, you think back to some of the Moneyball stuff, some of those players that were picked, it was because of high on-base percentage and how they actually had a good eye and they took the walks when they needed to. So, yeah, it's a good philosophy. People can hold their patience and not swing at bad pitches, which we see a lot in baseball.
Right.
Especially in that last one when the pressure's on and they like a 3-2 pitch and it's in the dirt and you're like, why is that guy swinging at that? That panic kicks in. Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
So we'll see how that pans out for him this year, and we'll see how that catches on. I'm sure a lot of that's going to make the pitchers step up their game.
Sure. Well, I would love to see the Cubs get a pennant again. Just get that off their back.
Something.
But the Blackhawks, you got the Blackhawks stuff on, and they've been doing all right in hockey. So you got to pick your sports. Yeah. We got,
like I said, the Bulls packed it up and went home today, so they're all done for the year.
Yeah.
So they're gone. So hopefully Derrick Rose will now have more time to heal because, God knows he's made out of glass.
Get injured crossing the street.
Oh, God, yeah, exactly.
He probably dropped something. He probably dropped stuff, and women offered to pick it up for him. Don't want him getting hurt.
Kudos to Kobe Bryant there. Well, his finale game right there, that was pretty good for him.
Put up 60, I saw. Yeah.
That's good. Way to go, Keep giving it to him and let him, get to the points.
Yeah. He hasn't scored that much since he was in Denver, I'm sure.
You can email Rod J. You're a Kobe fan.
he went out on top, so can't really can't complain too much about that.
No, good way to go. Good way to go.
Yeah.
It's a good way to see, a couple of pro athletes to go up out on top, on their top game. That's good. Way to go. If you're going to go out, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. I just saw a lot of. Okay, you ready?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to go ahead. I'm getting thirsty. All this talking.
I am too. So you want to do the Newcastle first?
You got it, brother.
Okay. So Newcastle, the one and only, imported from England, alcohol 4.7% ABV. On the back of it, it has a fact. It says, Fact 1, Bridge. It's well known that Newcastle Brown Ale is a full flavor and remarkably smooth. What's less well known is that the bridge over the River Tyne in Newcastle was built by the same company that constructed the Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia. The Tyne Bridge was opened in 1928 by King George V and Queen Mary and still features proudly on Newcastle Brown Ale's label. Huh. Didn't know they put facts on the bottles. There you go.
Yeah.
You got the same thing on yours?
In the middle of Yes, I do. I'm right there on this. Right there in the star. Right there in the star shows the bridge.
Oh, yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know how many facts they have, but that said on the back label that was fact number 1. So.
You have to.
I don't know. We may have to fact check it just to make sure.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like everything is fact checked nowadays.
Yeah. We'll get Fox on that right away.
Under the bottle cap, they actually have stuff written in there too. I know you can't see it that small, but it says, "Winner, your prize, the contents of the bottle." That's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. It says, this one here says, if you are reading this, your phone must be dead.
Yeah,
I like that. That's funny.
So I got into the pint glass. Did you use the pint glass on yours? You got the wheat glass there.
Yeah.
Came out with a nice 2-finger head on it. That's pretty decent.
Well.
Nice creamy head, tan, slightly beige, maybe just off white. Pretty good clarity. It's definitely a dark brown ale. But I put it to the light, I can see some of the bubble action.
Yeah, I can barely see through it. Really nice and caramely.
So what do you think of the aroma? Definitely sweet malt.
Yeah, it's got a slight malt and nutty. Got a little nutty in there. I like that. That's really nice. It's go ahead.
No, it almost seems like a little soapy to me or something. Not soap smelling, but kind of a soapy type textures. I don't know. Right. It's kind of a clean smelling aroma.
Yeah. I get a little, like I said, I get a little nutty, like a little hazelnut nutty.
Yeah, hazelnut and the sweetness from the malt for sure.
But the malt is really nice. You're right. It's like that cleanness.
Yeah.
Like fresh. Yeah, it's like that fresh, out of the shower, almost baby powder, fresh, freshness that you would get. Not that it smells like baby powder. It's just that freshness that you get.
Now we have a few pubs around where I'm at in Cincinnati, in Kentucky, and this is the kind of beer that, you look at it, you smell it, you kind of envision sitting in a pub and actually drinking. You think about over in the UK where a lot of those guys drink beers through the course of the day. Well, a lot of their beers are lower than that ABV, like this one at the 4.7. So I can definitely see myself on the stool at the pub and just kicking back and enjoying this with some good conversation.
Yeah. And it's got, if you look, like I said, I'm looking through it, and I look at my, with the light and stuff here. It's almost a red amber color through there, as opposed to that, dark caramely I first got. Now that it kind of lightened up a little bit.
Yeah, it's like that reddish brown, like one of the types of wood, like you see in a lot of bed frames, stuff like that. Everything's got that
Yeah.
nice reddish mahogany type color.
Yep. Really good.
Taste wise, that's where I probably get lost more on it or hit it more. It's just there's so many brown ales out there now that this is tradition in a bottle. So this is going back to where it came from. When you look at it versus some of the new ones out there, it doesn't always tend to hold up as well. It doesn't mean you should get rid of it. It just means this is a kind of a chance to look back into the past and see where everything's come from. And I think with this texture you get, because it is a lighter beer, it is a little more watery that you get in there. The aroma isn't, I mean, not the aroma, the flavor isn't as strong maybe on the duration as some of the beers we get nowadays. But it is a nice, clean, crisp, refreshing beer that you can sit out on the back deck or you can enjoy after doing some things out in the yard or around the house or wherever it may be, that you can sit back and just put your feet up for a little bit.
Right. Yeah, it's a lighter texture, not a heavier, like, when we think of craft beers, a lot of your craft beers are a little bit heavier, a little bit more thicker, malted just by the way they make it. And by, by default, I think this is made in almost like you said at the beginning, can we really call this a craft beer? Because it's actually gotten so big and, it's getting up into the production-wise. And so, is it really getting and staying that same level of consistency as when it first started out, where it was a little heavier probably? I think it's getting a little lighter. And this right here, though, the brown ale, it is nice, it is good, but it's nothing here. This isn't really just knocking me off my, chair. Right. So this is a really good, consistent, like you said, it's a base start for anybody who is starting out in craft beer. It's a great base start for your brown ales.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think sometimes when you have so many beers out there, it's nice to go back and just pay homage to the creators of some of the other ones that got us to the level where we're at now. So this is, like I said, a nice little look into the past and seeing what was something that got everything else going and where everything came from, and just kind of enjoying something. It's really history in a bottle. So this one, like I said, I forgot what the year. I probably could look on the computer, but I want to say it was like 1913 or 14, somewhere around back then when it came out with this one. But it's been around for a while, over 100 years.
Which is good, And if you're right, staying with the same old tradition and going and seeing where it all started from. That's really good. It's a really good way to really start off, especially now. If you start drinking it now, as we roll more into the hot summer and we get more into coming up here in Chicago, May, let me check some notes here. May 19th through the 29th, we actually have Craft Beer Week on up here, which I do believe falls right around the same time as the draft.
No, draft's 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Well, then, then this will...
But it sounds like you got Memorial Day. You might have Memorial Day in there, though. That might be a heck of a celebration.
Right. There you go. But, yeah, definitely... one to get started on, so you get your palate conditioned and used to the different flavors. And like you said, start off right where it started and move on up.
Right.
Like some of these other great guys.
Yeah, I'm not getting too much of the astringency on the back end. This is
definitely, yeah.
Did I lose you, Crunch? Oh, there you are. Thought you faded out for a second.
No, I'm right here. But, now, I was going to say, this is definitely a sweet potato fry beer. I would really like this. I would like this with a basket of sweet potatoes, French fries. I think this would really go good with that.
That could be something good there. This could actually be one, because of the sweetness you have with the malts, that you could actually have mashed up with a type of sweet dessert, too. So... a lot of people don't realize on some of the sweeter type beers how well they actually pair with some of the desserts. Most people, I think drinking beer and like doing something with a pastry is kind of an odd thing, but when you're going sweet for sweet, it matches up very nice. So you have something like this with maybe like, say, a turtle pie or something along those lines, something where you also have that nut flavor and some of that sweetness from the caramel and chocolate in there. This could be a nice, good match for dessert like that. Nice little nightcap beer,
Definitely.
so to speak.
There you go. There you go. All right.
But what do you think on your rating? What do you think you were rated as?
On that one right there, I'm going to definitely go on the Rod J 1 to 5 scale. I'm going to go 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah, 3.5. It's a good, it's a good B minus, right there. Pretty good. It's good. It's not gonna. It doesn't wow me. Doesn't knock me off my sock. But like you said, it's great to see where it all started from, and it's still good. It holds up. Definitely order it at the bars. Definitely pair it up. Around the with the food, with the pub grubs, and also have some in the refrigerator for that nice crisp. Because that's what it is. It really is crisp with that little bit of sweetness. So, I mean, overall, it's really good. It's just not a big wow, knock me off my sock for a craft beer. And so 3.5.
Okay. Well, for me, on this one, it's kind of a tricky situation. So I appreciate the longevity. I appreciate the history of it. I appreciate everything about the beer. But then if I rate it out, I have to looking at it where it compares nowadays versus some of the other beers that are out there. So it's almost like a beer you kind of move to the side now and just retire it type situation. Which, one thing about this beer is that this beer is also listed in the book of 1,001 beers you must taste before you die. So you could kind of say that's a Hall of Fame book. So you kind of put it into the Hall of Fame now. It's almost like, where do you put a Bob Cousy compared to all the players you see nowadays? Or where do you put a Pistol Pete? Both are great in their game, but with some of the talent you see nowadays and over the last 15, 20 years, there are so many things that are being done amazingly with the athlete's body that you don't even know if they could still compete if they were playing at this point. It's just that type of situation. So in the realm of where it sits nowadays, I'd actually give this one, I think it's still a nice beer to have once in a while. So I'm going to give it a 2.5 or a C rating. I think it's solid and stable, that you can enjoy it, but it's not one you're going to really hunt down. I was just talking to someone else from over in England about some of the beers, and I reviewed a couple other collaboration with Newcastle and one of the brewers out of Scotland, and he was telling me how the beers I've been reviewing aren't even the top beers out of there anymore. So even over there, they kind of got them knocked down a little bit. This is probably more down towards the level of where we will put maybe the Budweiser or the Coors or the Miller, some of the top macro type beers or things that might be around that type of level. It's not something that most people are going to go after. But if you're out at a picnic or a barbecue and someone hands you one of these, you'll be fine and you'll enjoy it. And you won't put your nose up at it or anything. But I just think an overall spectrum of all the beers you can look at now, I just don't know if it holds that much weight anymore. So I think a nice 2.5 for me.
Okay. And definitely, well elaborated on that.
Yeah.
So, good. Yeah, point taken.
Yep.
So, all right. Now, let's go to the Mitten State.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go to the Bell's Oberon.
Bell's Oberon. People are running around crazy finding this beer right now. So Bell's knows they have a good thing, and they released it, and people are flying around to pick it up. With Bell's, you have the Two-Hearted Ale, which is also one of the ones in the 1,001 beers you must taste before you die. I got to check to see if Oberon is in there as well. But this is probably right there with it or below it as two of their best beers they released. And Bell's does a lot of good beers, but these ones are kind of set the table for them.
It's really good. It's really good, especially it's excellent for the Kalamazoo area because, you know, they're in Kalamazoo, you know, they only have two things going for them at this moment. The first thing they have is Oberon, you know, Bell's Brewery, and the second thing is Deja Vu. So
Deja Vu? Deja Vu.
Yeah. Now you know Deja Vu?
Yeah. Well, I've been to. It's funny. I've been to Ypsilanti from going to Ann Arbor for a Michigan game years ago, and somehow we ended up. We didn't know Ypsilanti was such a party spot, but we ended up over there, and yes, that was one of the establishments we stopped in. Yeah. But looking in at looking in 1,001 beers you must taste before you die. Actually, Oberon is not listed now. This is the 2010 edition. I don't know if it's been revised and updated. But from Bell's, you had the two Hearted Ale, which I've had.
Two Hearted.
We've had their Amber Ale listed, and then they have one I have not tried yet, but I have people tell me how good it is, and that's a Cherry Stout. So I do want to try that at some point too. But in a new edition, maybe this one is added as well. I have to check the revised. But going to get mine into a glass here. Oh, she does pour pretty at that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I'm still getting some nice little bubbles in there.
Yeah.
And then I also look in there, and I have, you know, it almost looks like floaties, but you know, it looks like you know, you have some floaties in there, but it's
you have some because it is bottle conditioned. So I have some in mine as well. You know, people pay good money for that at GNC for the extra vitamins. So it's good to know. It's good to know we get it for free with the beer. And what people don't realize about beer too is that back in early ages, back when they would have slaves or prisoners or whatever, that they would actually use beer sometimes instead of food because of the proteins and everything in it to actually feed some of them in the morning. So it's got some good nutrients and stuff with it too. But this is probably one of my more favorite wheat ales that has come out over the years. Seems to always be consistent. So definitely looking forward to checking this out. And not even trying, I'm getting aroma out of the glass already.
All right. Yeah, you know, as an American Pale Wheat Ale, I mean, this has really got some nice color. And it's probably, you know, like they said, the wheat, you know, basically floaty stuff is what we're getting here. Probably some stuff off of the wheat, you know.
Yeah, well, it's the sediment from the yeast and everything from being fermented. But definitely get that. You get that horse blanket type aroma.
Definitely, yeah. Well, definitely citrusy.
Yeah.
You got that nice little citrus in there.
But I'm getting some of the hops out of it too, which are nice. A lot of times a wheat ale, the hops aren't up enough where you can actually enjoy them. And on this one, they are right there behind it. A nice balance between the hops and between the malts.
Right. Yeah. What's great about that? You're right about the horse blanket smell. Definitely, you know, got done riding the horse, and you're taking that blanket off, and that first whiff that you get and stuff from the leather, you know, that horse sweat on that blanket. Yeah. Definitely.
Somebody's probably watching this like, why would I want to drink something that smells like a horse blanket? They don't understand beer and the aromas and, you know, how people tie things together. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just a great body of essence with the aroma that comes out of this.
Oh, yeah. So I've already got my, you know, my mouth salivating right already, ready to drink this. Oh, so you already,
I'm already in there. You can only wait for so long. Nice initial bitterness to the front of the tongue. Oh, so crisp and refreshing on the back end. I mean, it hits the brakes and it just was nice and smooth going down.
Orange citrus. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when I it's like when I played soccer and rugby, you know, during the break time there, you take the oranges, you know, and you would eat the oranges right off from the rind there. You cut them, you rip them off. That outer rind, you know, flavoring, stuff like that is definitely in the side corners here. Definitely reminds me of the hot, you know, summer day playing soccer on the break time, putting that orange in there. That's the flavor I get right in there. That is good.
Get the nice flavors in the cheeks. It gets around the mouth very nicely.
Now, would you, in your opinion, and I don't know if people go and do this with the Oberon, but do they put the wedge of orange in there like they do with the Blue Moon?
I have never seen anybody do it with it. I don't know. My first instinct might be to slap them. But no, I joke there. But I don't know. I've never seen anybody do it. That could be something to try to do. I mean, people do it with the Blue
because
Moon.
It already has that. Right.
I'm kind of one of those guys that I don't really like to fruit the beer too much. I think the beer should have the characteristics already built into it. And you know, Blue Moon says, well, they're a Belgian ale, and they do it to bring out that. It's like, if you have good Belgian ales, you know you don't have to fruit the beer. It's almost like that American twist that we put onto it. But it would surprise me to see somebody that kind of does that might be more accustomed to Blue Moon, that might be used to drinking that one, and might think to go ahead and do that. I mean, there's really no wrong way to really drink a beer. So, you know, I say things in jest, but
except for in a frosted glass, right?
Except in a frosted. That is, in the last week, I've had to tell two different bartenders not to serve my craft beer in a frosted glass, and it's just funny because one of the things, if you're going through, like, you know, you're a sommelier, if you're going through to become a cicerone, you start off by being a certified beer server. And that's part of the exam on how to serve craft beer. So people are just being hired that don't know how to actually position it. So I've had to explain to a couple people on how you actually want to do it and why you don't want to do a frosted glass. They're like, oh, I never knew that. And it's like, well, you need to know that. You need to know your beers. You need to know how your service up if you want to actually benefit the most from being in that position, because people love hearing about beers if you're a bartender and you're able to help point them in the right directions. And the more service you give, the better your tips are. So they should take those opportunities to do that. But yeah, the whole frosted glass thing, and it's like, no, it's like you don't want to do it. And for people out there that don't understand what I'm saying here, when you use a frosted glass, craft beer, it takes away from the aroma and it takes away from the flavor. So that's one of the first things you learn about craft beer is not to serve it in a frosted glass. Because of that, when you go into a bar and you look around, you should see an ample amount of glasses that are not frosted. Now, if you want to get a Budweiser or you want to get Miller or Coors Light or one of the macros, one of the lagers, they're designed to go in those glasses because you know what? When they warm up, they don't taste as good. So with a lot of craft beer, when they warm up, some of the flavors and aromas do open up. It's all about knowing the right beer, the right glass, and how to drink it along those lines. But take away the frosted glass. Outside of that, there's not really too many other bad ways to do it, unless some people really get upset if they see a craft beer person drinking it from the bottle. So usually when they put that in the glass, and I made a joke about that on Twitter one day about seeing someone doing a Chimay out of a bottle, like one of the little bottles, and people were like, what? Yeah.
Well, you know, it runs in the same category with the wines. I mean, I have my pet peeve when I see people at the wine tasting that will sample one wine and then they will take water and rinse their glass out to get to the next one. And I get pissed off because I tell them, well, did you know what you actually just did was you watered down your next, drink? And they said, well, no, I didn't. I dumped that water out. I said, yeah, but did you know that the rest is like this bottle here, I actually, poured completely into there. But if you see on there, all the residue.
You always have a little bit left. Yeah.
And when you get a sample of wine, you're only talking an ounce, maybe, you know, possibly 2 ounces just for a sample. You're not there getting a whole glass where you, you know, dilute the water enough. It's actually about a third of your drink. So you actually go and taste another, you know, wine, and you actually diluted it. So you didn't get the full flavor of it. And it just burns me to no end. And I always tell people, when you go to a wine tasting, you drink, you take your first one and you drink, you enjoy it. You go and get your next one, ask for a rinse pour. They will give you a little bit of a pour in your glass. You take it, you swirl your glass around so it picks up all of that other, you know, one that you had, dump that out, and then ask for your pour. And then they will pour you it, and you will get a perfect tasting. So,
I never knew that.
Right. So it falls in line with your, you know, frosted glass thing. So definitely, you know, it runs hand in hand with the beers and the wines, and you know that's why we're together here, my friend.
Well, I know that you probably had some beer drinkers at the wine part because at a beer festival, you know, you rinse it with the water out so that it cleans the glass so you get the next one. It's almost like when people eat sushi, some people first eat it, they're confused about what is the ginger for. And people when you first learn to eat it don't realize that the ginger's there to cleanse your palate. So as you eat each piece of sushi, you take a bite of the ginger and it gets you set for the next piece along those lines. And that's the same thing that you're talking about with the rinse pour in the wine, or if you rinse your glass of beer at a beer festival before you go to the next one, because you don't want anything to take away from that next opportunity for you to enjoy the next thing you're going to put in that glass.
Correct.
But it's just funny the different things you see out there with way beers are served, how people drink things or are supposed to drink things. And, you know, there's people that say, well, it doesn't really matter what glass you use. Well, really, in the end, if you just want to go out there and drink beer, yeah, you can drink it out of anything. You can drink it out of a Kool-Aid pitcher if you want to. But you like that one. But there's certain glasses that are designed to hold beer certain ways. So, you know, there's a reason why you get some of these double IPAs and these higher IPAs into glasses like snifter glasses, because the way it's designed is for most people hold it to the bottom and your hands on up near the top, and it's how it heats the glass. And there's ways that you have stuff with, they say put it in a mug, like with some of your box, because that keeps your hand off of the cylinder and allows the beer not to get as warm as quick. So there's different things that are done out there, and it's all about learning about what goes best with what and picking up that knowledge. But the whole thing with beers, have fun and have the experience and learn from it. If you don't know, then ask someone there. A lot of people don't realize that how friendly a lot of the people in the craft beer industry are, and always looking to share information and provide details on things and help people really learn how to enjoy beer the best way.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely it's the same, like I said, same thing in the wine industry. The way you hold the glass, you know, stuff like that. So and each glass is different. So how you know, for what you pour in it. So definitely all the same. So yeah, all good. All right. So what are you going to rate this one out of here at?
Wow. So this is, like I said, this is probably, and it took me a while to get into some of the wheat ales, but this is probably one of the better wheat ales I've had out there from a lot of companies. You know, Anchor has a good one with their wheat ale. I was talking to someone earlier about their summer wheat ale that's available out there. There's certain things you look for in that criteria. A lot of times what I found previously, there were too fruit up front, not really much behind it. And what Bell's has done with this one, they give you that citrus action, but they give you a great amount of malts to balance it and offset everything. You talk about how you consume it, how you don't have much astringency on the back, how smooth it is. You could drink this on a nice summer day. You could drink this out on the deck. You could drink it around a fire pit. You know, wherever you want to go, you could put this together with a burger just as easy as you can with pizza. So the versatility is all involved in this beer here. So for me, I'm going to actually give this one I'm actually going to give this a 4. It's at least an A, so that's at least a 4 or 5. I'm going to give it a 4.75. I'm going to give it an A plus on this one. I think there's a reason why people hunt this beer down when it comes out each year seasonally, and I think they deliver on all facets of it. So it's definitely an A plus beer. definitely, if you're a wheat ale person out there, this is definitely one you want to try. So 475 for me on the Bell's Oberon.
There you go. I agree with you on a lot of those, constituents that you put there. Definitely the pizza. I can definitely see this with a Hawaiian-style pizza with the bacon and the pineapples there with a little bit of orange in there. That would really be good on there. Or even your burgers with the pineapple. I like it because I like citrus. I really like oranges. I like the pineapple and things like that. This brings out that nice balance of that, almost like a fruit cocktail in the mouth.
Yeah,
it's really good. The burger part would definitely balance it. A bacon, on this with that would really just like throw that over the top. I mean, if I had a stick of bacon and just dunked it in there right now and then left it in there with the juice to come on that, I would be all happy about that.
What doesn't bacon make better, right?
That's true. That's true. So, but then again, it's the citrus. It's kind of nice. You're right. People hunt it down. It's really good. But to me, it does kind of. There's something that kind of lacks like a big wow to it. Nothing much. So I'm going to go for the 4.55 on that one.
Okay.
I think, like I said, it's great. It's good. But there's just like something a little bit. If it had something into it to make it a little bit more noteworthy, I think it's really got all the same characteristics. They just make it better than the other wheat ales out there. So I think they just make it better. They just didn't push it over the top. There's probably something out there that's got all the same exact characteristics, but then there's something they add into it that push it over the top. Maybe they need some of that alien space nuggets.
Well, it's got like almost a coriander might be in there as well, but
I think they're missing the alien nuggets.
See, you were like
they had those.
You were the alien nuggets. You were like, what are they talking? You need to see last week's episode and see the alien nuggets. We're talking about from Short Space Rock and their beer because they have alien technology working on Area 51 right now. I went to let that beer down.
Well, it was working because they shut my computer down.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Give away secrets on the internet. Or as W says, internets. But I can see it. So you were right there with me, really. It was a matter of you're at that border. Is it over or is it under? It's like right there, making a decision. Do I move it to an A plus or to keep it kind of as a high A type thing? It definitely delivers all the way around, and I think anybody that likes a wheat ale won't be disappointed on this beer at all. Hey, by the way, did you see the latest new addition to my wall back there? I had to move I had to move Al over. So I ended up picking up that Sierra Nevada mirror up in Hamilton yesterday. So I didn't move.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had to move Al over a little bit. So still gonna watch my back up there. If you can't see my boy Al Pacino, Scarface up there, you always gotta have somebody watching your back for sure. So and yeah, I don't know. I think I might be at a wall space now, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because around here, every day is St. Patty's Day with Guinness. So
there you go. There you go. Well, you still have a little room up there on the ceiling, though. You know, you can always start up there on the ceiling. There you go.
Yeah, it's like so. I found it a little late. It's funny. I was walking around and just happened to stop at this antique shop, and this guy had just came back with it and cut me a deal on it. And I was like, well, that would go nice on the wall right there. So I ended up picking it up. So I can't move Betty Page. She has to stay. So.
Well, speaking of the old time beers and stuff like that, I actually went to a bar over the weekend and they had Blatz.
Oh wow, that is old school. Well,
Blatz and Schlitz.
Okay. Well, you know,
Um,
in my bathroom, I actually have an old school Miller Lite mirror that I thought about putting on the wall at some point too, and it's an old football mirror. It actually has.
I think we have a little too much information going.
I mean, it's just hanging on the wall in there. But it's got a 28 football team. So it's before pre-expansion. So it's an old school mirror. So I'm like, could I fit that in there somewhere? I don't know. I'd have to check to see. But yeah, I have some of the definitely some of the old school stuff, and whatever I can find, I pop it up there on the wall so people can check it out. But I think we lost Crunch here, which sometimes Crunch has some technical difficulty on his computer. That's where we were talking about the alien technology earlier on the show. So hopefully he'll pop back in on here in a second. And we'll go ahead and start concluding some more on the beers here. But yeah, 2 good beers tonight. Okay, it's Newcastle Brown Ale, a look back in history, a look back at the beer that kind of started the brown ale talk in America and really started opening that door up for craft brewers to go that route. And of course, Bell's Oberon, one of the hotter ones as we head into the warmer months that people love to have. Great beer to definitely check out, especially if you're a fan of wheat ale. They describe it as an American wheat ale with a spicy hop character, mildly fruity aromas, and the color and scent of a sunny afternoon. I would definitely agree that it does match up along all of that stuff along those lines. And they came out with like new logos, I thought, this year, but it looks like the logo isn't that much changed, but who knows? Anyway, it's a good beer, so check those out. And if you have any questions or anything, you always put some comments in the comment section. And then hopefully, if you want to partake in other upcoming videos, make sure to let us know as well. Definitely like to invite some other people in that might want to talk about some of the beers and provide their feedback and what they think about them as well. But wait for Crunch to pop back in here. You know, maybe give him a little timer. See if he'll pop back in a little bit. A little 60 minutes. But appreciate you all checking out the video. And we usually do this every Thursday evening from 8 o'clock Eastern, usually up to around 8:30, 8:40, usually not too much past the 9 o'clock. So we try to keep it within under the hour or so. But if you haven't checked out any other things we've done, you know, check out the channel, Rod J BeerVentures on YouTube, and tons of video beer reviews that I've done out there. Also, you can follow me and connect with me on Twitter and also Instagram. Twitter is Rod J BeerVenture, no S. Instagram is with the S. Facebook page is with the S as well. And then also the blog it can be found out there on Blogger. Right now it's rodjbeerventures.blogspot.com. But the easiest thing to do is to just go ahead and Google Rod J BeerVentures, and then you'll see all the different things that comes up. And then you'll be able to just connect to anyone that you like to do along those lines. So those are the 2 beers we were looking at tonight. If you think of any beers you'd like us to take a look at as well for the future, make sure to go ahead and comment also on the comment section, and we'll take a look to see about getting those videos in. And I think Crunch is trying to get back in right now, but it looks like he may be getting stuck a little bit. But, you know, it's just all about beer. That's really all. It's really all it is. So, I see his picture popping up here. There he is. Oh, I hear something there. He fell out just that quickly. So apparently aliens have taken over his computer as well. As far as Crunch, you can also find him out there on his blog. If you're a big wine drinker, crunchbrandon.com. Go ahead and check him out there as well. He's a sommelier and does a lot of stuff about wine, as he mentioned earlier in the video. And you can also follow him on Twitter as well. And one thing I'll share with you is a couple of my friends here have actually went on Shark Tank recently. So if you need to do anything to keep your beer cold, make sure you check out beerblizzard.com. Not doing anything like a shameless plug or not. They're just a couple college buddies helping them out just to get the word out. But a great little thing they created that will keep your beer cold. There's Crunch.
All right.
Yeah.
See, every time we talk about those aliens, that's what happens.
I was starting to run out of words. I was starting to start singing or something. I tell you.
Well, I gotta narrow down. It's either the aliens are doing this, or it's my parental control when you started talking about bathrooms and mirrors, which I think are my key words I have on my computer. So
something happened there. I don't know. NSA is spying on you or something. Something's going on.
So, yeah, you guys there at Beer Blizzard definitely I gotta shoot them an email there and get some of their product over here. Summertime's coming up for me here, and
yeah,
gonna need something to keep my brewskis cold, boy. Nothing worse than warm brewskis.
Right.
So, well, all right. Well, we're back here, and I'm Crunch Crutchmeyer here in Chicago, Illinois.
And Rod J out of Cincinnati.
And we're just two guys checking out the craft beers gone wild. Join us every Thursday. We like to have you guys join in. Hit Rod up during the week at Rod J BeerVentures. Just type that in, and 6 pages of links and connection will pop up for you. He's all over the place. He's popular right in his neck of the woods. So he'll go ahead and let you know what we're going to be tasting out. Pick some up at your local, watering holes around there. If you can't find it right off the bat, you can go to what app there, Mr. Rod?
Beermenus.com or Beer Menus if you have an iPhone.
There you go. Pick that up. It's been a lifesaver for me, and been using it all the time. Been able to find everything I needed. So will you go ahead and enjoy? Thank you very much for watching. And as always, as me and Rod like to say, cheers.
Keep drinking good craft beer. And we're out.